I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We are continuing in Helaman. We've just been reading about the formation of the first secret combinations among the Nephites, as the three sons of Pahoran campaigned for the judgment seat. Pahoran is elected, Paonkai begins a armed insurrection, is arrested and executed, and so his followers form this secret combination to have him murdered. And while all this is going on, the Lamanites once again come in and invade. This is only 10 years after the great wars with Amalickiah and Amoron and Moroni. Of course, it was only a couple of years before this that Moronihah actually drove out an army of the Lamanites. So we've only had a few years of peace, but now we got this Coriantumr guy. Strong, mighty man, wise in the ways of war. He is a Nephite dissenter, descended from Zarahemla. Tubaloth, the new king of the Lamanites, gives him command of the army, and he marches straight to Zarahemla. We pick this up now, chapter 1, starting in verse 18. And now it came to pass that because of so much contention and so much difficulty in the government, that they had not kept sufficient guards in the land of Zarahemla. For they had supposed that the Lamanites durst not come into the heart of their lands to attack that great city Zarahemla. But it came to pass that Coriantumr did march forth at the head of his numerous host, and came upon the inhabitants of the city, and their march was with such exceedingly great speed, that there was no time for the Nephites to gather together their armies. Therefore Coriantumr did cut down the watch by the entrance of the city, and did march forth with his whole army into the city. And they did slay every one who did oppose them, insomuch that they did take possession of the whole city. And it came to pass that Pacumeni, who was the chief judge, did flee before Coriantumr, even to the walls of the city. And it came to pass that Coriantumr did smite him against the wall, insomuch that he died. And thus ended the days of Pacumeni. And now when Coriantumr saw that he was in possession of the city of Zarahemla, and saw that the Nephites had fled before them, and were slain, and were taken, and were cast into prison, and that he had obtained the possession of the strongest hold in all the land, his heart took courage, insomuch that he was about to go forth against all the lands. And now he did not tarry in the land of Zarahemla, but he did march forth with a large army, even towards the city of Bountiful. For it was his determination to go forth and cut his way through with the sword, that he might obtain the north parts of the land. And supposing that their greatest strength was in the center of the land, therefore he did march forth, giving them no time to assemble themselves together, save it were in small bodies. And in this manner they did fall upon them, and cut them down to the earth. But behold, this march of Coriantumr through the center of the land gave Moronihah great advantage over them, notwithstanding the greatness of the number of the Nephites who were slain. For behold, Moronihah had supposed that the Lamanites durst not come into the center of the land, but that they would attack the cities round about in the borders, as they had hitherto done. Therefore Moronihah had caused that their strong armies should maintain those parts round about by the borders. But behold, the Lamanites were not frightened according to his desire, but they had come into the center of the land, and had taken the capital city, which was the city of Zarahemla, and were marching through the most capital parts of the land, slaying the people with a great slaughter, both men, women, and children, taking possession of many cities and of many strongholds. But when Moronihah had discovered this, he immediately sent forth Lehi with an army round about, to head them before they should come to the land Bountiful. And thus he did, and he did head them before they came to the land of Bountiful, and gave unto them battle, insomuch that they began to retreat back towards the land of Zarahemla. And it came to pass that Moronihah did head them in their retreat, and did give unto them battle, insomuch that it became an exceedingly bloody battle. Yea, many were slain, and among the number who were slain, Coriantumr was also found. And now, behold, the Lamanites could not retreat either way, neither on the north, nor on the south, nor on the east, nor on the west, for they were surrounded on every hand by the Nephites. And thus had Coriantumr plunged the Lamanites into the midst of the Nephites, insomuch that they were in the power of the Nephites. And he himself was slain, and the Lamanites did yield themselves into the hands of the Nephites. And it came to pass that Moronihah took possession of the city of Zarahemla again, and caused that the Lamanites who had been taken prisoners should depart out of the land in peace. And thus ended the 41st year of the reign of the judges. Moronihah is a good captain, but he is expecting the Lamanites to do what they have done in the past, and that is attack the borders first and try to push into the center. But Coriantumr, as a recent dissenter from the Nephites, he thinks, if we go straight for Zarahemla, that's their strongest point, and if we take our whole army and smack that first, we can wipe out their strongest army first, and then the rest of it will be easy. And when he's able to take Zarahemla, he gets a little cocky, thinking that he has destroyed their strongest army. But Moronihah had separated the army out to the borders. So he moves out and he starts taking, Coriantumr moves out, starts taking the smaller towns and cities between Zarahemla and Bountiful. Word gets to Moronihah, Lehi is sent up north. They attack the Lamanites in Bountiful, drive them south. Moronihah moves in from the south, pushing in, surrounding them, kills Coriantumr, and the rest all surrender. So Coriantumr, he did good in taking Zarahemla at the beginning, but he got cocky. He didn't leave enough people in Zarahemla to defend it. He thought he had already decimated the Nephite armies, and this allowed Moronihah and Lehi to trap the Lamanite army and defeat them. Now it says he was going into the northern parts of the land, and we did read about the first migration into the land northward began about 10 years earlier. There's not too much up there yet. In 10 years, you're not going to get too many, they're not going to spread out too much. You'll have a couple of cities in the southern part of the land northward, but you're not going to have a lot of stuff spreading out yet. But he wanted to get into the north parts so that he could then have men on the south, men in the north, and crush the rest of the Nephites that way. And his plan kind of got turned around on him. Anyways, we're going to leave that here, and I will see you in chapter 2.